Hey, so I just wanted to make a brief clip, kind of doing an altar haul or a show and tell, so to speak. This is my altar. Um, this is something that I try to use nightly, usually not in the morning, although I probably should. Um, but I've got like a variety of objects and items on this altar. It's just sitting up against my wall. It's on the floor, but just kind of going through. So the centerpiece here, these are two deities, which I actually made out of a kind of crafting clay I got at a hobby store. The one on the right here is representative of the masculine side of the divine, and then the one on the left is L, which she represents the feminine expression of the divine. So they pretty much take up the centerpiece here, kind of symbolically of their polarity, their duality in the middle. Um, and I've tried to make it a theme on either side of the altar, different aspects of either deity, El or Ah, and their separate characteristics, and just in the items that I have laying on here. Um, with L's side, I've got this is like a fake. It's not real. Nest with eggs. Again, I think I got this at a hobby store. I've got a chunk of coral because this I actually got in an antique shop, which was interesting. It was like 50 cents or $1 or something. But coral is representative or reminiscent of the ocean, and the ocean, with its tides and its depth, really is an aspect, an expression of El, the feminine aspect of the divine. Here I have a nice little sort of pot or cauldron. It's just clay. Um, Again, I picked this up at an antique shop, but it represents the vessel of El, the encompassing container, the encompassing the sort of the void, the container or the vessel. This I'm a huge fan of. This is a candle in the middle, by the way, so that's why I'm not like touching it. But I'm a huge fan of these shells. I don't know what they're called, but I've seen a lot of them around. They're just basically they kind of provide a nice little tray or a container for whatever you're prompted to put in there. I'm gonna blow this out actually. These tea lights don't tend to last that long. Um, but I've got in here, I've got, actually this is a crab's hand, the hand of a crab. I don't know if you can see it, but it's bone. I've had this crab hand for years, and I do not remember where I got it. I think my brother got it for me in California, but I have no idea. I used to have it in my car dashboard. I used to keep it kind of as a lucky charm, but again, it's reference to the ocean, to sea life. And I just think it's kind of cool. It's got some good energy with it. But this shell container I've just filled with some nice dried flower petals. um, Here's another vessel. This one, it's not out of gypsum. What's that? Selenite. This is a selenite bowl. And within here, I actually have a tiny glass bottle of salt. So, I usually, or sometimes I'll have water, specifically sea salt water, sitting in this selenite, which I actually heard, and I don't know if this is true, maybe you can confirm or whatever, that having salt water in contact with selenite actually works to deteriorate it. I don't know how true that is, but I did notice that after the water evaporated, the salt actually took kind of a margarita rim going on here with just salt deposits. So that's kind of cool. This object, this is one of them. So I got written L on there. And the cat has knocked this over I don't know how many times. This tree, it's supposed to be a tree. This is just basically something I threw together with random knickknacks and different themed, like there's a crystal, couple of quartz crystals here. So I got a shell. This is moss, kind of dull in color, more autumn, more winter colors. And this is supposed to just kind of represent the environmental, the seasons. So L is represented by fall and winter seasons. And the opposite obviously would be A, which I'll get to in a moment. Back here I just have chunks of petrified wood that I've collected over the years. One of them I got at a landscaping supply place. Another one I got in California at a little shop they had. And a lot of this stuff here too, just as an overall thing, like this giant right here, this giant slate. This is a slate chunk I actually got at a landscape supply store. One of our providers for the work that I do, they just had this like sitting there, and it was like, you know, however many dollars a pound, and this was so many pounds. But I just picked it up on the job when we were there, and I was like, wow, that's a really cool slate piece. This rock here actually was part of the dump when we were excavating a site. And the rock, I don't know if you can tell from here, but it has a almost perfectly flat bottom. So it's this is real, this is a real rock, but it has this face to it, and then it has this flat bottom. So I was like, I grabbed that rock up and I painted this image, which has symbolic significance as well. But most of the stuff overall, the whole altar, like the very thing it's sitting on here, this is another slate chunk that I found that all this stuff is sitting on, the size of a table practically, and this thing is heavy. I'm actually kind of surprised the wood table this whole thing is sitting on is standing up, because this thing has got to be in excess of, I don't know, like 100 pounds or something. But it was heavy. I actually plucked this out of the ground, straight out of the earth, and it's just made the perfect table. Like, I really like the feel of it. And it's flat too. It's kind of plateaued, but it's like, it's flat, so you know, it really helps. And then the thing the deities are setting on is something I put together with some scraps that we were using for one of the projects. We just had a bunch of cut scraps after cutting the stone and stuff, and I just kind of slapped two of them together and kind of made a bench or a little setup there. But moving over to the right side of the altar, this is Ah's side. This is like with the other side, this is the opposite. This is supposed to be kind of themed toward Ah, things that remind me of Ah. Here I have actually a piece of amber. I just thought it was really cool. It's very light too. I mean, it's like nothing. But amber is obviously hardened sap. Sap is from a tree. I don't know why I have to point that out. But it's hardened sap. And it's gold in color, so it kind of reminds me of Ah. Cinnamon sticks, I actually used at a specific ritual for a day, for one of the holidays. But these just, I don't know why, it just, I was prompted that cinnamon as a spice is kind of centered, so I don't know, but I kept those. This is a cool little stick or wand or athame. It's made out of, I believe it's white oak, and this was actually consecrated during a new moon ritual. I got this at a pagan store. It was like soaked in oil and stuff too, but it has pretty nice property. It has a nice feel to it too. So, and obviously the phallic symbolism, the blade symbolism is very directly this is a chunk of Shiva lingam, which is a type of stone from India, which traditionally represents the god Shiva in the Hindu pantheon. So that's kind of reminiscent of especially the kind of neutral, strong colors that it has too. This is a thistle. This is a Scottish thistle. It's a real, I don't want to say petrified, but it's dried thistle. Ooh, that kind of hurts actually. But the prickliness of it, the rigid, there's a lot of like symbolism itself in this plant from Scotland. That was like, I don't know, that was like $1 or whatever. This nut I found in a park, and I was like, this has gotta be the most perfect, if this phone would focus, it's gotta be the most perfect acorn I've ever seen. I've had it for like 3 or 4 years now. But yeah, again, for obvious reasons, this is reminiscent of again, another obvious symbol. I don't know if you can see from here. This is a crystal penis. It is quartz. It is smoky quartz. But another, again, another obvious symbol for anything phallic, anything pointed, is reminiscent of that masculine power, that masculine energy. The same with the obelisk here. I have an obelisk. I've got a cool, I'm almost convinced this is glass, but the shop said it was genuine crystal. I mean, it could be, but it's got this really cool, I don't know if you can see it, like it's got a really cool, I don't know the word, like an amber orangish kind of hue to it. I really liked it. Here I actually have a container of real gold. These are just little gold flakes. I mean, hardly hardly anything. Oops. Oh look, our candle is melting. It's like, I don't know if you can see it because of the flame, but it's like a volcano. It's literally like melting out right now. Anyway, so yeah, there's gold, and I mean gold, silver, I mean L. I tend to see more silver, and then would be gold. So it has those two aesthetics. Those two aesthetics are ascribed to them. Not sure why that geode is there. I thought that was on the L side, but hey, it works. You know, nice decoration. Again, I've got one of these plate things here. Kind of put it together for which is representative of summer and spring. Spring when things begin to come back to life, and summer, the height of Oz power, when the sun is out and everything's warm. Oh, and then behind it here, this is a, what do you call those? God, I can't remember. Brooch. It's like a pin, but it's the Green Man. And I don't know if you know about the ancient traditions in paganism and Wicca, sort of revived by Wicca. The Green Man is said to be the horned god, which is representative of God's fertility, or the fertility of life during the springtime. Again, kind of an theme there. I happen to have this incense altar over here. It could be really on either side, but I just have it and yeah, those are the deities. One thing I guess I should quickly cover is Thoth standing here. Cool statue I've had, little miniature for some time now. I've always had affinity and I believe a connection to Thoth, who is the Egyptian god of writing and wisdom. He actually came to me in a dream once, a long time ago, and I got that statuette of him online, and I've had it ever since. I've actually had it for years, and he actually has a busted arm, but I super glued it back together because he fell over one time. But I keep him on here as a sort of like mediator, which is not for no reason, as one of Thoth's jobs in the ancient times they believed was to be the mediator between the gods, the sort of arbiter. But he's cool, he's just chilling there. He's chilling on a slab of petrified wood. There's Osho. I don't really have time to talk about Osho, but he's Bhagwan Rajneesh. He was a really cool guru guy. Yeah, you can look him up and like look up what he's all about. He's really dope. So the baby. What is a miniature baby thing doing here? So these came as party favors at a hobby store, and I saw these and I was like, perfect. Like, there's a whole bag of them, like 100 babies. I still have like the 99 other babies, but this baby actually has symbolic. Then I spotted it in the store and I was like, that's kind of symbolic, because El and Ah coming together in their union sort of become what I call, or what I refer to as Elah, as a single deity, as the supreme one. And I kind of thought about it and I thought, well, that's kind of similar to actual procreation. That's similar to, maybe you could even say similar to the Christ child or the divine child of the gods. And I thought that, you know, where else am I going to find a teeny baby figure thing like this? But it's for that reason that this baby is on here. It's to sort of represent the union between El and Ah, and their union and harmony is obviously the best thing, the good thing, and it's represented by this baby. And then again, I just have like a bunch of randoms. Like I love pyramids. I love crystal pyramids. I don't know if you noticed, I got like 3 of them on here. These are so cool. These are for the life of me, I can't remember crystal names. That's not lapis lazuli, by the way. That's howlite, which I thought the blue color on that was really cool. But anyway, I guess that wraps up my sort of guide through my tour, through my altar space here. I really like the background and stuff. Again, there's that duality in that picture up above, represented by the moon and the setting sun. But I tried to keep a similar theme. But thanks for watching, and feel free to comment, feel free to subscribe, and may the gods bless.